What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to another True Raider podcast. This is the second Taco-Bout Raiders Tuesday. Now, I got an air conditioner running right here in the room, man. It's hot up in here. So let me know in the chat. Can you hear it? I did some testing earlier, and it sounded like the sound from it wasn't coming through the mic. But if it's coming through and it's loud, let me know. I'll shut it off. All right. It's just hot up in here, man. It's been over 100 degrees, man. It's July. It is what it is, man. So, um, welcome, man. Glad you guys are here. So, today there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about, man. There's a couple of things floating around, and it's a little interesting, man. It's a little interesting. We'll see what's up, man. Um, the first thing on the agenda today is to talk about Devontae Adams. Now, there's all these rumors going around. Devontae Adams is going to want out because of the Netflix receiver, that he's, going to go somewhere else, and finally, the agents for Raiders, Devontae Adams, said the trade speculation is baseless. So this is Paul Gutierrez from ESPN says the agents for Las Vegas Raiders receiver Devontae Adams shut down rampant rumors and reports Tuesday that their client, a three-time first-team All-Pro and potential future Hall of Famer, was on the trading block. This is baseless, unfounded speculation, and Devontae is expected to be with the Raiders as there has been absolutely no talk, period. Agents Kenny Chapman and Frank Bauer told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Aaron Rodgers, Adams' former quarterback with the Green Bay Packers, who now plays with the New York Jets, stoked the rumor mill last week at the American Century Championship golf tournament in South Lake Tahoe, Nevada, saying, "I love Devontae. I can't wait to play with him again." Rodgers, really, I think what was happening here was that Aaron Rodgers loves to poke fun at the media, loves to do that trolling stuff, and you know, I what I really think happened was he was talking about that he was about to play golf with Devontae Adams, right? Now, Aaron Rodgers would love to play with Devontae Adams again, but Devontae Adams has made it very clear to the media, like a million times already, and he's made it clear to Aaron Rodgers that he's a Raider, right? Now, that also has brought some speculation where people are talking about, well, what if Aaron Rodgers came to the Raiders and da da da? And really, I think if that was going to happen, it would have happened last year. Um, guys, I wouldn't be mad if we ended up with Aaron Rodgers. I think I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers with Luke Getsy and Devontae Adams than I would Dak Prescott. But I'm not trying to pay that kind of Aaron Rodgers contract. I don't think that that's something that should be even considered by us. Um, I don't really know, man. Um, yeah, man. So let's see what we got going on in the chat, man. We got Chris, we got Bill. What's going on, man? So, yeah, Da said that last year pre AP he was getting killed by Jimmy G, and he did say something to the effect of like, "I got to get out of here before I lose my life" or something like that. Um, I did hear something about that his grandma had sent a text that was saying the same thing right about the same time that he was caught mic'd up saying it. But really, I mean, what it comes down to is he was getting thrown hospital balls, man. Jimmy G was throwing him hospital balls. Aiden O'Connell threw him a couple. They're throwing it behind him. They're throwing it to where he's got to reach up and he takes a good hit. And that's just not a position that you want to be in, putting your star wide receiver to take those kind of hits. Um, and Chris, I agree, man. I would only take Dak on the cheap. Same with Aaron Rodgers. Like, if one of those guys wanted to do some kind of reasonable deal, but the 50, 60 million, it's out of there, man. If we're talking more like the 40 million range, I could see there being some kind of talks, but I really don't think that that's going to be the case, man. This whole thing with Devontae and Aaron Rodgers, honestly, I feel like they're probably not ever going to play together again. And that's just what it is. Um, they've both made it clear that they would love to play with the other one, but I don't see it happening. And I don't think that they truly see it happening either. But you never know what the future holds, man. Aaron Rodgers, he's getting old. He's coming back from that torn Achilles. Let's see what he looks like even this year on the Jets, man. If he takes a decline, and all of a sudden his contract becomes cheaper, and they deem that Aiden O'Connell and Garner Minshew are just not going to be as good as a broken down Aaron Rodgers, then I could see there being a potential um, of that maybe happening at some point. But honestly, man, I don't think that that's in the future for the Raiders, and I don't think that Devontae Adams is going to go be a Jet. I don't see it, man. You know, there was another thing that came out about Devontae Adams, man, and it actually kind of bugged me, man, because this guy, I really liked this player. Um, and we're talking about Randy Moss, right? And Randy Moss, he was with the Vikings. I was, following him. That was like around the time I first became a Raiders fan, and he ended up with the Raiders, and I was super excited for that. And it did not turn out the way that I pictured it. There's so much excitement about it, and I think that that's why sometimes we start talking about like, oh, we need to move on from Devontae, because we tend to get these veterans that either want to force their way out or they're at the end of their career. We got Marcus Peters, Marshawn Lynch, these kind of guys, Warren Sapp that come in here and we think that they're going to be a huge difference maker for us. And then it just kind of doesn't turn out that way, right? But Randy Moss had honest advice for Devontae Adams about ring chasing, right? So in this article says the Las Vegas Raiders are in the middle of a rebuild. Any delusions about the team competing in the AFC West were crushed last season. Las Vegas fired both their head coach and general manager on Halloween, essentially giving up on the rest of the season, which I don't believe that at all. I think that we actually stepped it up for the rest of the season, is what we did. But the Raiders have had a strong offseason, but they aren't ready to compete just yet. This is just part of the reason why Devontae Adams has been the subject of trade talks recently. Randy Moss recently appeared on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams. Here's what Moss had to say when asked if Devontae Adams should chase a ring. He said, "I don't see why he shouldn't," Moss said. "I think he made all his money. He made enough money. So I think for him to chase a ring, I mean, I chased one. A lot of players chase a ring when they have been let go of an organization. When I was let go by the Minnesota Vikings, I didn't know what I was going to do or where I was going to go. And then I had an opportunity to go play for the Patriots." Now, the thing is, man, is that Randy Moss, he came in and he played for the Oakland Raiders, man, for 2 seasons. And then he wanted out of here, man. And whatever. Um, he went to go chase a ring with Tom Brady and the Patriots, and the dude played in the Super Bowl and did not get a ring, right? And so, for me, it's like for Devontae, I mean, to follow any kind of advice from Randy Moss, yes, Randy Moss is one of them guys, right? He's gonna be a Hall of Famer and all that. But the thing is that his advice was to go chase a ring when he went to go do that same thing, proved disloyalty, and then didn't end up getting his ring, right? So I don't know, man. Chris, I still say that nobody's giving AOC a chance. And I agree with that, man. And like the more I look at it, the more like I really believe that Aiden O'Connell has the potential to really be a good quarterback in this league. I really do. I don't think that he's ever going to be a top 10. Definitely, I don't ever picture him being a top 5. But I'm sure people said that about Brady, right? I don't think he's going to be Tom Brady either. But I do believe that Aiden O'Connell can be a top 20, top 15 quarterback in this league. And if Aiden O'Connell can do that, then I think with the roster and the momentum and the culture and all the things that we have in place right now, I really think that he could go on and do that, man, and take us, to some really big games and maybe even the big game, right? So, we'll see what that looks like this season. I think that we're going to really get to see it in the first couple of games. I think it's going to show right away. I don't think this is one of those things that we got to wait until week 12 for it to really start to shine. I think that if by week 4 it's still just is looking really messy, I think that problem we have on our hands, and I don't know that he'll get more than 4 or 5 weeks before they throw in Gardner Minshew. You know, why would Da move to the East Coast when his family can actually come to his games? And that was a big reason why he came to the Raiders. I know he came to play with Derek Carr, and that was the biggest reason for him to come here. Another reason was that he grew up a Raiders fan, right? And then his family, they don't like to fly, so he wanted to be within driving distance to where they could come see some of his games. So for him to go even further than Green Bay, I mean, I guess he could be like, well, they came to some of my games for a couple years, and now I'm going to go somewhere else. And that could be something that happens. Honestly, I don't think that Devontae Adams is going to end up leaving from here unless, that just, unless it's something that he wants to do. I mean, or maybe a trade. But, at this point, man, I don't know. There's speculation because the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk are in this weird position where, they're not really they didn't come to an agreement. Brandon Ayuk is demanding a trade, and so now they're saying, "Well, let's trade Devontae Adams for Brandon Ayuk." And Brandon Ayuk, he's a good player. He's a really good receiver. He's got a lot more years left in the league than Devontae Adams, but I do not think he's the same caliber of receiver as Devontae Adams. And what are they going to do? A straight across trade? I don't think that that's worth it for us. I think that if they were offering Brandon Ayuk and a second rounder, then maybe we could start talking. But you know, Brandon Ayuk is going to get paid wherever he goes, and I don't, I don't really think that that's something that's going to be in the cards for us, man. I don't see us doing that, man. Yeah, his family likes Vegas too, right? You're right, Billy. Um, So Aiden O'Connell just needs to keep the turnovers down, score 24 plus points, and we will win a lot of games. And that's a big one, right? Is that he did have some turnovers, but he did start to clean that up towards the end of the year. And a lot of the people that are really pushing for Garner Minshew are bitching about Aiden O'Connell and his lack of mobility and his turnovers. But the thing is that Garner Minshew, yes, he scrambles a little bit more. He's not really faster, and he's a turnover machine. Tons of picks, tons of fumbles. Uh, it's a mess, man. If you go and you watch the tape, man, it all shows. It all shows there, man, and I don't really like it, man. So let's go ahead and get into our depth chart, man. Raider Ryan, what's up, man? Salute, salute. Glad you made it, man. Glad you made it. So let's go ahead and get into this depth chart, man. So I want to look at our depth chart because I want to talk about our 53 man roster, man. So on the Raiders website, they have not released their official depth chart. So I pulled up ESPN, and some of it is a little interesting to me. Like they got Aiden O'Connell listed as a starter, Garner Minshew as the second, Anthony Brown Jr. as the third. There's a couple of things in here where, they have like Devontae, Jacoby, and Trey Tucker. It's like 1, 2, 3, and then Michael Gallup, Jalen Guyton, and DJ Turner after that. Um, what we're looking at here. There was one spot that I thought was kind of strange to me, man. Um, Let me pull it up real quick. Oh yeah, over here they got John Jenkins listed here, and then Tyree Wilson as the second. You know, um, and then Paul Mao is not even on here, which I thought was super super weird, right? Like, well, how are you going to forget Isaiah Paul Mao? You know, it doesn't it doesn't make any sense to me, man. He's definitely still on the roster, so why he's not showing up on there, I don't really know. So, I went through this, and I was looking at like, salute my 2 cents. What's up? Glad you're in the building, man. I was looking at the different things going on with our roster and what I was really thinking realistically, who's going to make the cut, who's not. And I put together a little list, man. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up now. Oh man, there it is. Okay, so this is the list that I came up with, right? And maybe not everybody will agree with this, and that's okay. This is what I truly believe we're gonna end up with, right? Um, First off, we start with quarterbacks. Aiden O'Connell, he's going to make the roster, right? No matter if he's first, second, whatever, he's going to make the roster. There's no way he's going to get cut, right? I think he'll be QB1. Gardner Minshew, he's going to make the roster. Unless it's like some weird thing happened and we ended up trading him or doing some weird thing, Gardner Minshew's going to be here, and I don't think that that's even a possibility. But as our QB3, because now teams are holding a third quarterback. I think that Carter Bradley is going to be the guy that we ultimately end up keeping. I know he's a UDFA, but he's the son of a former Raiders defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley, right? And so he's got some connections there. I think that he has a lot to offer, and I think that he's going to end up being the guy that they keep at that number 3 spot. Now for running back, Zamir White, he's going to make the roster, right? Zamir White did really good in the last 4 games of last year. Really, if he had gone the entire season at that, I think he would have gone up to 1,600 yards. He was projected at. So we'll see what's coming up this year. I think that he's really bulked up a lot. He's really been hitting the weight room, and I think that there's going to be some good things that are going on with Zamir White. I really think he's going to be um, our running back one. I think he's going to be the workhorse. I know we're going to do more of running back by committee, but I think that Zamir White is going to get a lot more touches than anybody else. Um, at least in the backfield. So then Alexander Madison, he's going to be our running back too. He's a good running back, man. I've watched some film on him. I've seen a couple of people do some breakdowns. What I've seen of him, he's a solid running back too. I don't think that he's the guy to be a running back one, and that's okay. He doesn't have to be. But as a running back two, I mean, he's very shifty. He's got power. He's got decent speed. He's pretty good at catching in the backfield. He's got a lot of good traits that I think that are really going to be good addition to this team. Now, Amir Abdullah, right now I have us keeping 4 running backs, right? And Amir Abdullah, I think, is going to end up by the end of the season getting beat out for that third down back spot by Dylan Laube. And I really think that Dylan Laube is going to have the job moving forward. Amir Abdullah is on the wrong side of 30. Dylan Laube's a rookie. Um, it's just, I think that that's what it's going to be. But I think that Amir Abdullah is going to make the roster mostly because of his special teams, right? He is very good on special teams, and it's going to be really good to have him. And he's the most veteran presence that we have in the running back room. Um, so I definitely think he's going to stay. He's going to make the roster. And then Dylan Laube, of course, we drafted him 6th round. He's a great running back. I think that he's going to be that name that people are sleeping on, and he's gonna get out there and he's gonna put in that work. I'm really confident in this dude. He's really excited to be a Raider. He's really excited to be in the NFL, and I'm really excited to see this guy play. I see you guys talking about the temperature. Just a reminder, if my air conditioner is coming through the mic, let me know. I'll shut it off. I'll sweat it out for the nation, man. But if it's not causing any interference, let me know also, because I want to be able to stay nice and fresh while I'm doing this, man. We still got 40 minutes to go, I think. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how this goes, man. I don't set a time limit, but usually ends up being right about an hour. So yeah, um, Dylan Lowry gonna make it. Devontae Adams, he was questionable. Just kidding. Yeah, of course, Devontae Adams is going to make our roster. Same with Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. There's talks about, is he going to be our wide receiver 3? A lot of players are really speaking highly about him during OTAs and during the offseason. They're saying watch out for Trey Tucker, right? Now, Brock Bowers, I know, is a tight end, but he's going to be utilized a lot in the slot and a lot, there's speculation that Brock Bowers is essentially our wide receiver 3, and Trey Tucker will be more of a wide receiver 4, which brought me into the wide receivers. How many wide receivers are we actually going to keep with these, this 2 tight end sets? We got Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and Harrison Bryant, which I think are all going to make the roster. So really, I think that we're going to thin out a little bit in the wide receiver room. I think Michael Gallup will likely make this roster. Um, players are speaking really highly of Michael Gallup. I've heard some good reports out there. Um, and then DJ Turner, I don't think he's really going to play any offense, but this guy almost made it to the Pro Bowl as a special teamer. And this guy really had uh, great contributions on special teams. So I really think that he's going to end up making this roster. I don't think that he's going to see any receptions on the offense. But really, he had originally got brought in as that speedster, and then Trey Tucker came in. And I think that DJ Turner still has some value in there. I just don't know. We're we're pretty stacked in the wide receiver department. So I don't really know that DJ Turner stands a chance to really get, you know, on the offense, but definitely going to play some special teams. Now, Jalen Guyton was one of these guys that I wasn't so sure about. Tom Telesco guy came over from the Chargers. I think that we need to keep some depth in the wide receiver room, and I think that he's going to be picked over Christian Wilkinson. And there wasn't any other receivers on the depth chart that I really thought were going to end up making this roster, right? So then we go into our receiver slash tight end Brock Bowers. Um, just a shout out to Graf Brock Bowers, right? This shit cracks me up. He hasn't been saying it, man. So he needs to bring that up, man, because if we can get a couple people on board, we can really make that the thing. And I crack up every time, dude. I love that. I was watching them live during the draft, man, and it was so funny, dude. It was just so funny. He was poking at wasted talent about that. It's great. If you guys haven't seen it, go back on their channel, man. Go check it out. It's funny. But then we got Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is showing a great attitude coming into the season. He talked about last season that, he wasn't even so sure how he felt about playing football. And, I think that he really just didn't like it under Josh McDaniels. He said it was very complicated offense and it took all the fun out of it, right? So he said that Luke Getzey's offense makes a lot more sense. It's a lot easier to learn. And I think that that's really good because what we need is for our offensive players to know where they're supposed to be and know when they're supposed to be there. Harrison Bryant, we brought over from the Bengals, man. This dude, he's going to make the roster. He's a good blocking tight end. He's also good receiving tight end. I think he's like 6'8". I'm pretty sure he's pretty tall. He's going to make the team, right? So we got those 3 tight ends. I don't know that we're going to keep Gentry. Gentry is good. I just, with the way that things kind of lined up, I left him out so I could see, how everything else shook out. And, what it came down to is that I don't think that there's space for Gentry on the roster. I just don't. So then on our offensive line, we got Colton Miller on left tackle. Jackson Powers Johnson, for some reason, is listed as right guard, but, he's going to be left guard. And, both Colton Miller and Jackson Powers Johnson have been out during OTAs because of injuries. I'm not so concerned about Jackson Powers Johnson. I think he's going to be fine. But Colton Miller, I got some concerns when it comes to Colton Miller. I was talking about it when we were looking at trying to trade up for a quarterback. And I was saying we need to trade Colton Miller in a package deal while he still is worth something. Because he was out for a couple games. That's why we saw Thayer Mumford playing left tackle last year. And those games that he missed, those kind of really, it concerned me. That shoulder injury seems pretty serious. He was out for OTAs with the same injury. I don't know how healthy he's going to be if he's going to stay doing well or not. And that's why we brought on Andres Pete. We got a couple of guys that can play left tackle. And what you'll see on our offensive line is that we got several guys that can kind of jump around and do they got a lot of diversity, right? They got a lot of different skill sets. They can kind of jump around, and we really need that on our offensive line. So and yeah, and he was hurt for the first time since he's been in the league. But sometimes all it takes is that one good injury to kind of set somebody back and lower their value and lower their production. So um, we got Andre James. He's going to be our center. We re-signed him. Dylan Parham moved over from left guard to right guard, and then Thayer Mumford. Now that going into this year, he's going to get an opportunity to play right guard. Uh, I think that he's going to do great there. He showed really good promise at left guard, and I think that he's going to be able to perform pretty. I think he's going to be better than Jermaine Illuminor. Is what it comes down to, right? Now we got Andres Pete. Andres Pete primarily has played left tackle and left guard. I think he's a great rotational piece. He's a great backup for Colton Miller, especially if he's going to be out with injury. And then Cody Whitehair, traditionally a left guard. He can also take snaps at center. Andre James is our center. Dylan Parham and Jackson Powers Johnson can also play center. So we got another center that was on the depth chart. What was his name? Let me pull it up real quick. Uh, Will Putnam. So Will Putnam, I'm not going to try to lie to you and say that I know a lot about Will Putnam because I really don't. But I don't really deem it necessary for us to keep him on the roster because we got 3 to 4 guys on our offensive line that can play center at a high level. Especially because I would love to see Jackson Powers Johnson get that center position, Cody Whitehair in at left guard, Dylan Parham at right guard. I want Andre James to stay healthy, don't get me wrong, but if Andre James goes down, I want Jackson Powers Johnson to move over to center. Now, Jordan Meredith, I think that, he primarily plays right guard. I think that he's going to make the roster. And then DJ Glaze, I was watching what was it? It was Graphic Raider, Wasted Talent, and Sanji T, and they were talking about DJ Glaze. Now, one guy was saying that he didn't really like DJ Glaze's tape that much, but the other guy said that they did a film breakdown, and I didn't watch the breakdown, so I'm not going to speak on it. But they were saying that they saw some really good play from DJ Glaze at the Michigan game, right, against really good defense. Sorry, guys, my throat's getting me. So, I really think that DJ Glaze, he's going to be one of those guys that we're really glad that we have on our roster moving forward. And honestly, he might be coming for Mumford's job, man. He really might. So, moving on to defense, right? This is where I'm super excited for our defense, you guys. Like I cannot contain myself. I cannot wait. I don't even really want to watch our offense that much, and of course I do. But like last year, I'd get so excited when our defense was on the field because I knew a play was going to get made, right? But like our offense would come on and I would start getting nervous, man. And I'd be like, oh, dude, like what's going to happen? What's going to go wrong? I'd get really frustrated and full of anxiety, right? So we got Max Crosby. Max Crosby is Max Crosby. Next to him, we got Christian Wilkins. Then we got Tyree Wilson, John Jenkins, Malcolm Kuntz. Now, Christian Wilkins is going to be an amazing addition to this line because, yeah, maybe he's not going to get double-digit sacks or all this stuff, but he really gets double-teamed a lot, and he's going to make the people on either side of him more productive. Max Crosby is going to be more productive because Christian Wilkins is there, and John Jenkins, Tyree Wilson, Adam Butler, Malcolm Kuntz, all these guys are going to be more productive because Christian Wilkins is on the line. That being said, he does get a decent amount of pressures, but more than anything, he is a run stopper, and that's what we really need. I don't know how many times over the last couple of years where like we'd be in the game and things are going well, and then all of a sudden there'd be a breakout run, and I'd go, "Oh crap!" And then next thing you know, another run, and they're getting 7, 8, 9 yards of run, 15 yards of run. And I'm like, God, like, can somebody just stop the run? And we're not stopping the run. And then they get to the red zone and they'd score. And then all of a sudden we're losing, right? And so Christian Wilkins is going to be really helpful in that effort to be stopping the run. I'm really excited to see that. Tyree Wilson is bulked up. He's looking huge. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a picture of Tyree Wilson standing like this next to John Jenkins and uh, and Max Crosby. And the dude is a monster, right? He reminds me of a legitimate monster from Space Jam. Um, I really think that been he's been in the building with Max. He's really been upping his game. It's really looking and sounding like he is going to take the step that we really need him to take. Last year, he went in. He was not even supposed to play. He was supposed to be behind Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones lost his mind. Tyree Wilson ended up in a position where it just he was thrown in too early, and we knew that he was a developmental piece. Even though he was the seventh overall pick, we still knew that he was a developmental piece. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the chat, you guys. I'm kind of trying to bounce between screens. Glad to see you guys in the building. James, what's up? What's up? So, yeah, man. Tyree Wilson, John Jenkins. He's the dude is old. The dude is almost as old as me, man. I think he's like 35. That's like a dinosaur in football years. But we re-signed him. I believe it's a 1-year deal because he did such a good job last year. Now with the rotation of Adam Butler and John Jenkins and Tyree Wilson, whoever's playing in that position, I think that we're going to keep fresh legs on the field. I think that these guys are going to perform at a good level. They have Adam Butler and John Jenkins used to play with Christian Wilkins on the Dolphins, so they already have that chemistry. And so I'm really excited about those guys as well. The only guy, I guess there's two that I'm not really so excited about on that defensive line is Janarius Robinson, right? Janarius Robinson, he's a decent edge, but there was that whole like DUI thing that happened, and it like came up in the news, and then everybody was like, shh, and it just got swept under the rug. And that really upsets me with the whole Henry Ruggs thing and all that. Like, come on, man, you're gonna go get DUI? Like, it just, I don't know, dude. I'm really surprised that he didn't get cut right then and there. So it must be that they really want to hold on to him for some reason, or maybe there's something I don't know. And then Ellerson Smith. Honestly, I don't know anything about Ellerson Smith. I just looked at the depth chart, and I think that we need that extra rotational piece. It could be that Ellerson Smith is one of those that could get interchanged with another player that we might want to see on this roster more. Um, but this is just what I came up with, right? This is my predictions. So, you guys screenshot it if you want, man. Laugh at me later if I'm totally wrong. Give me my flowers if I'm right. We'll see how it goes. So, into the linebacking room, Divine Diablo, he's going to make the team. I think that he's got some work to do, but he is definitely a good linebacker for us. Robert Spillane was just amazing performance. He really, my expectations were really low for him. I was really hoping that we were going to pick up a really good linebacker, and then we ended up with Robert Spillane. And then he ended up being a really good linebacker. So, he proved me wrong. He proved a lot of people wrong. Luke Masterson, I think, is going to make this team. Uh, he showed a lot of good promise. I think that I've even heard people talking about Luke Masterson maybe even replacing the Diablo. I don't really know. I don't know enough about the situation to really have an opinion on that. But then we got Amari Burney. Amari Burney had some good snaps last year as a rookie. I believe he was a seventh rounder, sixth or seventh rounder last year. And so I'd like to see what happens with him stepping up his game this year. But then Tommy Eichenberg. Tommy Eichenberg is a guy that I was really happy that we picked up. I believe he was our fifth round pick. And Tommy Eichenberg, man, on all the mock drafts I did all off season, Tommy Eichenberg was on all of them because he just always seemed to fall down there to the fourth and fifth round, sixth round sometimes. And it's like, dude, this guy is a really good talent. He reminds me of Robert Spillane. So if we got another Robert Spillane that late in the draft, I'm excited for it. So we're gonna see how it shakes out with Tommy Eichenberg, man. Um, we'll see. We'll see. And then after him, Darian Butler. Now, Darian Butler, honestly, he's another guy that I don't know a ton about. I was just looking at our linebackers, and I kind of felt like maybe the depth was more needed there than in other places. I felt like we really had solid people in all other places. So I went ahead and put him on the list, which takes us to our defensive backs. Now, Jack Jones, he's an AP guy. He's been an AP guy through high school, through college. He came out, got a pick six against, um, the Chargers and Patrick Mahomes, man. Chargers and Chiefs, bro. Like, just an amazing fashion. They both looked beautiful. I think that as long as he keeps his behavior under control, he's going to be one of them guys in this league, man. So Jack Jones, man, shout out to Jack Jones. Actually, I need to get a Jack Jones jersey, man. I really want one. I don't know why I haven't got one. I'm gonna get one. I guess I was just, yeah, whatever. I like Jack Jones, right? And then Jacorian Bennett. Now Jacorian Bennett, he was a fourth rounder, and he came out rookie season, got thrown in there right away, starting position, and he had some calls, like kind of bad calls, go against him that I think kind of shook his confidence. I don't think that it's during that Josh McDaniels time where he was really putting his thumb on the defense, which was really weird. Where all of a sudden Josh McDaniels is gone and the defense is amazing. It's like I don't know, man. It was some weird stuff happening during that. So I think that Jacorian Bennett, the fact that we have not signed um, another corner this offseason, one of these free agents that's a big name, I think speaks a lot to where Jacorian Bennett is and what they really believe in him. Now, I know during the OTAs he got 2 picks. I'm hoping that it's that he's doing really good and not that our quarterbacks are doing really poor. More will be revealed. Nate Hobbs, man, he could not do an interview to save his life, but the dude can read an offense, man. That dude is solid. Shout out to Nate Hobbs, man. He's going to make this roster. And then we got Brandon Faison. We had signed him to a 2-year deal. He was injured last year, didn't play. He's going to finish out that deal this year. I believe he'll play this year. And then we got our, a couple rookies, the Cameron Richardson and MJ Devonshire. I really like both these picks. The Cameron Richardson's very fast. Devonshire, he's a playmaker, man. So they're gonna make the roster, man. We can't let some of these players hit the practice squad, especially our rookies. Somebody else is gonna pick them up. We got to hold on to them. So Trayvon Merrick, right? Trayvon Merrick, let's face it, he's going to make the team. He's our best safety. He is our best safety. He really made a lot of good plays for us. I'm really happy to have him. Marcus Epps was a great addition coming over from the Eagles. I think that he helped Trayvon Merrick step up his game. I think that they're a good safety combo. But there's some rumblings, going on about Isaiah Paul maybe going to take Marcus Epps' spot. Now, Marcus Epps is on the last year of his deal. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to start. But we'll see as the season goes along if Isaiah Paul doesn't end up sliding into that position. Now, we got some good depth over here at safety because we also got Chris Smith. Chris Smith was like a ghost last year. I don't remember seeing him on the field once, but Chris Smith, when he played for Georgia, I watched some tape on him, man, and that dude is good. He is a good safety. So, I think that he's in a developmental phase, and we'll see what comes out maybe this year, next year, that he starts seeing the field. But also, we picked up Trey Taylor, man, and Trey Taylor is a dog, right? He won the award. I can't remember what it's called, the award for the best safety are the best defensive back in college football, right? And so Trayvon Marriott also won that award. So we got two guys on our roster right now that won that award. He's a dog. I think that he's definitely going to make this roster. I don't know that he gets much play this season, but I know that they want to hold on to him for the future to come. Now, our special teams unit, no brainer, Daniel Carson, AJ Cole, our Pro Bowl kicking team, and then Jacob Bobenmeyer, our long snapper. So we're going to really see how things shake out. I really believe that this is what we're going to be looking at. You guys let me know what you think. If there's anything you disagreed with or whatever, let me know down in the comments. Let me know in the chat. Um, but really, with this new kickoff thing, I think that we're going to see some shifting on our special teams, man. I really think that Dylan Laube is going to really be able to show his skill set. From my understanding of it, it's more like a running play than a kick return. Because basically the kicking team has to stay put until the receiving team has possession of the ball. And instead of running across the whole field, I believe they're 10 yards away. So then it's like really more of getting a good blocking scheme and doing a running play at that point. And Dylan Laube is that guy when it comes to returns already. And he's that guy in the running field, man. And I really think he's going to get a lot of good play there, man. Hobbs and Paul Mao, that slot linebacker hybrid. Paul Mao, I think, might even move around positions, but really it sounds to me like he's going to end up staying at safety. But he's got a lot of versatility, and that versatility, just like I was talking about with our offensive line, man. We got some guys on the defense that are pretty versatile, and I'm excited about it, man. I'm definitely excited about it. Um, so yeah, man, that's all I really got for my 53 man roster predictions. We're pre-camp. We're gonna see what happens now that we go into training camp. The schedule is coming up, guys. They did release the schedule. I believe I have it pulled up actually. There we go. I do have it pulled up. So, Las Vegas Raiders release entire 2024 training camp schedule. So, on this, let me see, man. Let me scroll down. There's our schedule. Training camp schedule. So, July 20th, which is 4 days away, rookies and QBs report to training camp. That is soon. That is 4 days away. 4 days. Cited. And then July 21st to the 23rd, 3-day pre-camp warm-up. The 23rd, the Veterans Report, Antonio Pierce presser. So we're definitely going to have to talk about that. Then we got the first practice on the 24th. 25th, day 2, Patrick Graham presser. 26th, day 3, first padded practice, Pierce presser. And then July 27th, off day. July 28th, off day. I am getting so excited, guys, man. I'm getting so excited. July 29th, day 4, Luke Getzey presser. July 30th, day 5, Antonio Pierce presser. July 31st, day 6, Tom McMahon presser. August 1st, off day. August 2nd, day 7, Pierce presser. August 3rd, day 8, practice, 2 hours, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then we got another off day. Then day 9, August 5th, AP presser again. August 6th, day 10. August 7th, day 11, final day of camp in Costa Mesa, AP presser. And then 3 days later, August 10th, preseason week 1 at Minnesota. The following day, we'll have an AP presser. Then 3 days after that, open practice at Legion Stadium. 3 days after that, August 17th, preseason week 2 versus the Cowboys. August 20th, open practice. August 23rd, preseason week 3 versus the 40 Winers. And then the 24th, another AP presser. And then on the 27th, we'll have the roster cut down from 90 to 53 players. 1 p.m. So we're gonna see what that looks like, guys. Like I said, man, I'm getting excited for this season. Um, I hope you guys are just excited as me. I just want to say it again for the preseason. We're gonna be doing some watch parties for the preseason games. If that's working out pretty good as we go into the season, we're gonna continue that. Well, it is what you guys make it. It is what you guys make it. I love being here with the nation. Champ, welcome, man. I'm glad you made it. Good to see you, man. My wife got his tickets. My birthday was yesterday. We're going to the Cowboys Raiders preseason game. That is what's up, man. I hit up a friend of mine, man. His aunt has season tickets. I was trying to get Raiders Steelers tickets. She already sold out, man. She already sold out. So, I'm still looking, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's in the cards for me. I got a lot of things going on. I really want to make it to a game this year, guys. So we'll see how things shake out. I'm not buying tickets quite yet, I guess. And we'll see what's available later on. Hopefully, I can find something, man. So, we're coming up on an hour, you guys. That's all I really got. Straight up, I got to go to bed here in about an hour. I got to be up at 5 a.m. Thanks for rocking with me, Nation. I love you guys. I will see you guys on Friday. Friday we got the TGI Raiders Friday live, and I believe it will go on at the usual time. I'll post it in advance. It should be um, 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So keep a lookout for that. Salute Nation, and I will catch you guys on the next one.